Hello Shed and Steel Building family. We're doing something crazy today. I'm not holding the phone for once. I was on the way to work. I passed a homeless shelter. There was a lady out there. Oh, she's giving me a dirty look. Okay. It's actually my wife. Come on, come this way. Today we're going to talk about steel building. You're tired of hearing about sheds. Just for reference, it is currently like 30-some degrees. I don't believe in wearing jackets. This is a thin shirt. So if I get frostbite or hypothermia during the video, I have instructed my wife to not turn the camera off so that we can keep the video going. So steel, this is steel right here. There's two types of steel that you're going to find here in the Midwest, and that's going to be 14 gauge or 12 gauge. Now, contrary to popular belief, the lower the number, the bigger the gauge. 14 seems like it would be more than 12, and it is when you have it in this form of dollar bills. But in the form of steel, the lower the number, the thicker the steel. So this is 12 gauge steel. 12 gauge steel, as you can see by this sitting out here, is fully galvanized. It will not rust. And if you take a peek down here to this little ground anchor, you can see what ungalvanized steel looks like there. So that's what steel does. It rusts, it rots out. Anybody who's had an old truck knows that. If you've been real lucky, you've had one of the Fords where it has pumpkin teeth underneath and you cut yourself getting in and out because it's so rusty. This way. So it's very important that you get this 12 gauge premium steel. It carries a 20-year rust warranty. So the manufacturer is guaranteeing that this steel will be rust free for 20 years. Why that is important is because the 14 gauge only carries a 1-year warranty. It's non-galvanized. So the 14 gauge steel, while it's going to be more appealing when you see the price, it's going to end up rusting out. Now this is a long-term investment. We've all been to our families where Grandpa had a barn he put up. Outbuildings, when they're built properly, last a long time. So you might be spending money now, but down the road somebody's going to thank you for that, and you want to build it properly. You want to see this 12 gauge steel. So let's talk about the paneling here. So as you can see here, this is called a vertical panel. It runs top to bottom, not side to side. So vertical paneling is an addition that costs more money, and I'll show you why when we go inside. So when you're getting your pricing on your buildings, all the time we get people, we send them a quote of $18,000. They're like, oh, this company in North Carolina can do it for 13. No, they can't. It's not the same building. It's probably 14 gauge. It's probably horizontal siding. This also has color match screws. So if you see these screws here, they are the color of the building. That is an upgrade where if you were to come over here, we're going to travel now. Hey, look, it's more ungalvanized metal rusting out. See that? That's why you don't want 14 gauge. So if you were to come over here, so these are not color match screws, so you can see the difference. Now if you look back at that building, you can see that you cannot see any screws on the building, where here they're all going to pop out. Now these are all going to be galvanized screws that have a washer to prevent any kind of leaking, but getting those color match screws is aesthetically more pleasing. Now this is your horizontal siding. It goes left to right, not up and down. So this is normally what's quoted on the building. So this is a lot of times a price difference too. And now we're going to show you why. So if you're looking here, you can see that you have your uprights or your legs spaced, and the spacing is according to your wind and snow load. It has to do with the height, your county, all that stuff. So you can see there's nothing in between here, and this siding is going to run all the way along left to right. That's how the horizontal siding goes. You can see up there we have a vertical roof. That's another big thing, guys. There's 3 types of roofs. The number one they call a standard roof, and we've all seen the standard roof. The standard roof is when it's like that circular roof, or I call it rolled rounded. That is terrible. It's not even allowed in this county anymore. You never want a standard roof. Second roof is A-frame. So the A-frame roof is going to be a 312 or a 412 pitch. This is A-frame vertical. But they have A-frame horizontal. That's where the paneling runs left to right. It does not disperse water and snow properly. You don't want that. Now let's take a look in here at some vertical siding. I might have to feed this lady lunch. She's keeping up with the camera. No, I won't go that far.
Hey.
She's crazy. Hopefully this door is unlocked. Here's another difference in the door. This is a solid steel door. You can't blow your shoulder through it. Literally, I have a broken pinky right now, so I can't really pound on the door. But this door is super heavy duty. It's a door we always recommend, especially for people who aren't around their buildings at all times. This is going to keep your possessions safe. So we're going to see if it's unlocked. It is. Step on in. Oh, it's warmer in here already. Okay, so when you're looking around, and I apologize it's dark in here, we do have one window over here. You can see these are called purlins, gouts, whatever you want to call them. And these are what allow you to have the vertical siding to go up and down as opposed to side and side. And they're also the reason for the increased cost when you're getting a vertical building. So this right here is vertical sided building. It's 12 gauge premium steel. It's an A-frame vertical roof. It's got the solid steel door. If somebody was to quote you this with horizontal siding, 14 gauge material, horizontal roof, and an RV door that you can blow your shoulder through, that's where the price difference is. It's very important, and if you want that, you want that, but it's very important you understand what you're getting when you compare apples to apples. So we're going to take one more venture over here. So this is what we call a commercial grade chain hoist roll-up door. So we offer overhead doors too, insulated and uninsulated. This is an effective door when you're trying to conserve space. You don't have any tracks, you just have the mechanism up top. And it's real easy, it's just a chain hoist. So it's as simple as grabbing it, figuring out which way it goes up. Boom, you're up. That's so easy a child could do it, but I don't recommend that. There's a little hook here where you can put it in, and it doesn't end up coming back down on you. This one right here happens to be 12 feet wide by 10 feet tall. We sell these as big as 14 by 14, but this is a good option. It's more cost effective than an overhead door, whether insulated or not insulated. It conserves space, but if you're trying to insulate or finish this out down the road, we can definitely get you a door that is insulated, an overhead door. That's not a problem. So we'll take one more venture over here. Alright, so this right here is the standard door. This is actually an upgraded door for a metal building. The standard door has a silly looking diamond in it. We've all seen it, or that half circle. This is what I call an RV door. This thing is literally pasted together at a factory somewhere. It's garbage, it's junk. It closes and everything good like that. It's on here as a representation to let people know their options. We do not force you to build the buildings the way we recommend, but I don't recommend this door, and it's a lot cheaper than that door there. Although this is an upgraded version of it, it's a cottage door with a window, but if you were to get that diamond door, that's going to be another huge savings, you see, but it's not really a savings, it's less quality material. That's where you're getting your savings from. So wainscoting. Down here you'll see wainscoting. Wainscoting is a secondary color band that runs along the bottom of the building. It gives a little bit more aesthetic flair. So wainscoting is free of charge on a horizontal building. So another ploy you'll see is a lot of these people saying, we will give you free wainscoting. Wainscoting is free anyways. So if you get horizontal siding, they don't charge for this. So anybody offering this to you for free is using it as just kind of an incentive, and I don't blame them. But just so you know, you can always get wainscoting for free on horizontal buildings. If you do it on a vertical building, it is an upcharge, as they have to run a seam of metal around here to separate the two. Boom, now we're over here. So, this is probably another video, but we'll briefly do it. This is our commercial grade steel. So once you go over 30 feet wide, you have to use different trussing and different legs. So you can see this here. We call this kind of our Z-frame trussing. It kind of makes a Z going up and down there. So this stuff is heavy duty. They had to use heavy equipment when they brought this in and put it together. This building is 32 feet wide. So anything over 30 feet wide gets this heavy duty trussing. So a lot of times people will contact us for 40 by 60 or 40 by 80, and they're like, wow, it's way more than 30 by 50. This is a whole nother beast, a whole nother monster. This is super heavy duty. This is commercial grade. We do that. We're currently building a 100 by 200 for a auto supplier, and we're gonna hopefully get some information to you on that. But you can see this is completely different material. So just know if you go wider than 30 feet, there is going to be quite an upcharge. And last but not least, we're going to wander over here. Because we can wander. We're going to talk about anchoring your steel building. Now, one thing with anchoring is there's so much bad information or misleading people out there when it comes to anchoring. How you anchor your building really does not matter, probably to the authorized supplier where you buy it, but it does matter for getting a permit and for the longevity of your building. This right here is just an example of a 4-foot helicoil. So this will go in the ground below the frost line, and then you can see right here, it'll get anchored to your building with a steel bolt. So that is good for up to 600 square feet in the state of Michigan. If you go over 600 square feet, you have to do cement, whether it's cylindrical piers that go below the frost line or whether it's a full frost wall all the way around the building. So when you're buying this stuff from people, another big misconception is anchoring. They'll tell you they can anchor it right to your concrete pad free of charge. Yes, they can, but if that concrete pad does not have footings, you're not going to meet code. So it's important that something goes below the frost line to hold this building steady when the ground heaves from the frost. Whether it's cylindrical piers, a concrete, I call it a rat wall, but it's a frost wall, or whether you're using these 4-foot helicoils. Now, we are the only company in the Midwest that has engineered prints that will let you use these on buildings under 600 square feet. You're not getting that anywhere else. It was very expensive, but we can help you out with that. So at the end of the day, whether you buy a building from us or not, we just want to make sure you know what you're buying. From a single pane window that has no R value to a double pane window, there's so many different options that can change the price of steel. And the honest truth is, all quotes should be within 15% of each other. If they're not the same quote. All right, well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I am actually going to stay out here and see how long I can stay before I get too cold. I'm doing a science experiment. Bill Nye is actually coming in about half an hour to meet me. I'm going to be on TV. It's kind of cool. I'm really excited about that. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. 517-753-3210. I'm not your steel guy. You don't see me all the time. We have a managing director of steel. Imagine that. We have a gentleman whose only job is to know steel in and out. He's like the steel encyclopedia, and he knows 100 times more than me. And all he does is steel buildings, and he follows you from the beginning of the process to the end, and he will not sell you a building without a handshake and a meet in person. Do not send your money out of state to a broom closet. Give us a chance. Give us an opportunity. Give Brian Goodman a call. 517-753-3210. You can design your building online at justwoodandsteel.com and get a free quote. Or if you do that internet thing, you can get us at justwoodandsteel@gmail.com 24/7. Sometimes in the middle of the night we don't answer emails. Sometimes we do. So you never know. Maybe we're up and we can't sleep. But we just wanted to give you a little taste of the steel. We're going to get more involved in the steel buildings. But for now, these buildings are all at our primary location, 320 East Vermontville Highway, Potterville, Michigan, 48876. Every building has a sign in it displaying the information on it. You're welcome to browse these 24/7. Come see them in person at our display lot, and we would be happy to build you your next great outbuilding. All right, steel is better than wood, and we will talk about that in a different video on why. But for now, like I said, make sure you're getting apples to apples. Brian has a great procedure. Even if you don't buy a building from us, send us a quote. We'll go over it and make sure you're getting what you need. All right, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I've got an appointment with Bill Nye, so I will catch you on the next one.